Very good evening, Jai Shri Krishna Guru. Thank you for joining Sai Satcharita Parayan. I hope you had a wonderful day today. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha, Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha, Om Shri Saraswataya Namaha, Om Shri Guru Dattatreya Namaha, Om Shri Mahalakshmi Namaha. Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Sai Satcharita, the life and teachings of Shirdi, Sai Baba. Sorry, apologies for the technical glitch that happened yesterday. We'll continue from the chapter 47, but I will start from the beginning. Chapter 47, the tale of Veerabhadhrappa and Chenabasappa. My obeisance to Shri Ganesh, to Shri Saraswati and Shri Guru Maharaj, to the family deity, to Shri Sita Ramachandra. My most humble obeisance I bow in reverence to the most venerable Guru, Shri Sai Nath. His face, looking upon which, even for a moment, the pain and sorrow of innumerable births is destroyed, and which is the source of highest bliss. Blessed is that holy countenance of Shri Sai. Sai's grace liberates one from the bondage of karma instantly, and his devotees enjoy the blissful joy without a moment's delay. He before whose glance of grace the knots of karma and non-karma open up. In the light of the sun of his grace, the firefly of worldly life fades away and is completely lost. Bhagirathi, Ganges, washes away the sins of the world, which makes her muddy. To cleanse the dirt so collected, she longs for the dust of the sadhu's feet. I've already explained this. It is not Ganga who purifies the sins of this world. It is when the great master, the great sages, the great saints dip their holy feet in Ganga, is when she is actually purified. Oh, when will the sadhu's feet touch my bands? When will they come to bathe in my waters? For she knows for certain that without this, her sins will never be cleansed. You need to embed this in your heart. This is the supreme truth. Please understand. When the holy feet of any master touches, graces in your home or wherever, right? You get the grace to, eat the naivedya prepared from his hands or drink the teeth of water, that is the holy water which is washed his holy feet. That is what will absolve you. These are the greatest merit that you can ever get in this human birth. So whenever you get some opportunity like this, always hold to the lotus feet of this great master, drink the teeth of his water washed of his holy feet, and please serve him. Seva to the Guru is the only redemption of overcoming all this karma. There is no other way in our life. Please understand this truth. O faithful righteous listeners, listen with respect to this most purifying tale, knowing full well that these words are of Sai Samarth, the gem in the crown among such sadhus. The wonderful significance of this story is this. Be the listeners knowledgeable or ignorant, when listening to this, the bondage of their karma will be snapped. Such is this sacred tale. Sai, who is the vision of all the eyes, the audition of all the ears, he has himself entered my heart and narrated this story. Sai is a great saint himself. As the listeners listen to the marvel of this story, they will forget their bodily consciousness and their hearts will be overcome with the Ashtabhava of love. This is a tale straight from Sai's mouth. When its essence is carefully grasped, with an eye on its moral lesson, the listeners will get satisfaction. Absolutely. See, the most important thing that you need to understand is it is not about the story. It is about the essence, the moral, the truth that he is imparting to us through these beautiful leelas. That is why this is called leela, which is a play. It's a play to impart to our simple mind, which doesn't have the ability to comprehend this most esoteric and the profound truth, the complex truth about who God is and what is our dharma, what is our swadharma. These are the things that is being imparted to us. How do we live a righteous life? How do we live a life full of goodness, sattva in us? That is what is being imparted. What it is to mean, what it is to be godly, how to be godly. So these are all the purport of these beautiful stories. So it is important to get the essence, the nectar, truth, the nectar in sugar and sweet, the nectar from these stories and imbibe. So you have to do Shravan, Manan, Nididhyasan and go in silence, understand and then absorb absorb like a sponge, become that sponge and grasp all that is being taught. Take the sattva of it, and then start internalizing it, and that is when the truth will reveal itself to you. That is all is required. Beyond that, you don't need to do anything else. Have absolute love and devotion unto the lotus feet of your guru, the master, the God Almighty, unto the lotus feet of Lord Shri Krishna. Please have that faith. Have that faith and complete surrender. Beyond that, there's nothing else you need to do. Please understand, in this life, if you have got the opportunity to do guru seva, do it with absolute sincerity, because that's the only redemption that you can get. Nothing else. Everything else will stand still. But when your guru is pleased, he will help you, not help you, rather, he is going to absolve you of all your karmas. He is going to cushion your karmas for you. Please understand the greatness of such master. Don't take him for granted. As one recalls, hence, O listeners, listen to my prayer. I am no doubt the narrator of this tale, but if I do not concentrate on its essence, I will remain as empty as you are. It's the same for all of us. Even though I am today, narrating this Parayan, I am only an instrument. As much as you will get the essence from it, I also learn. So together we learn. So as long as this body is there, you have to continue learning. There is no stop. There is nothing to stop you from learning. Learning doesn't stop. Please understand this. The only thing you have to do every single day is to continue to learn. Knowledge is one very important thing which you need to gather. And till you don't get that knowledge, then there is nothing. It's not worth this human existence. That is the truth. As one recalls his love for the devotees, the mind forgets its tendency to worry. And those varied by worldly life enjoy peace of mind. What higher gain than this can be there? Absolutely. Now listen, oh listeners, attentively to its connection with the previous story. You will feel satisfied when you listen to the story without any impediments. At the end of the last chapter, the listeners heard the story of goats, Baba's love for them, and his recollection of their past life. Similarly, listen attentively to this story, which is also about how the excessive greed for money can lead to a man's fall. It is Sai himself who very kindly suggests these stories one after the other, and thus prevents any break in the listener's listening, thereby adding to their pleasure and satisfaction. When the story, the narrator and the narration, all these are Sai Samarth himself, then who and what for is this Hemad except as just a nickname? Sitting as we are on the shores of this ocean of Sai's tales, why should we make any laborious effort for the stories? At the foot of the Kalpataru, no sooner does a wish arise than it is fulfilled. Absolutely true. He's the Kalpataru, he's the Kamadhenu, he's the wish-fulfilling tree. He's always there to fulfill our desires. Please remember what you ask him. It is very important to ask for your spiritual will, not for your material gains. No desire is worth your fulfillment. Does one worry about a lamp in the house of the sun? He who drinks forever of the nectar, why should he fancy the poison? Absolutely. When we have a protector like Sai all the time, what dearth can there be of nectar sweet tales? Happily savor them to your heart's content. The law of karma is difficult to understand and cannot be comprehended by anyone. Even the jnanis are deceived, while the simple ignorant ones are saved. I'm going to reread this verse, okay? The law of karma is difficult to understand and cannot be comprehended by anyone. Even the jnanis are deceived, while the simple ignorant ones are saved only because you have the grace of your master. Please understand. Even the jnanis who are trying to decipher knowledge, who want to say, I know. The word I know is very dangerous. Please remove this I. You are nobody to know anything. There is nothing to know also. That knowledge itself is. That's it. There is no I there. It will reveal itself to you when you become deserving, when you give up this ego, arrogance, all that thing, that identity of I, me, minus, thinking that you're some great thing that has happened on this planet Earth. The day you give up your ego, surrendered unto the lotus feet of your master, have absolute faith, unconditional pure love and exclusive devotion. That day when the master is pleased, this knowledge will automatically be revealed to you. You don't even have to go. But the jnanis think, I am that, I know, I am that, I am that God. Who is this I? Who is this ego of yours thinking that I am some greatest thing that has happened on planet Earth? Please understand, there is no I there. It is only God itself. Is, God is. That is why my Guruji has mentioned very beautifully. He says, God is. Is who? Ishwar. There is only one divine being. That is why we say Lord Shri Krishna is the supreme divine consciousness. He is just there. And God is not going to reveal itself to you. He can reveal in any form. But can you even understand God? Do you think you have the ability to understand God? My Krishna Guruji in today's Das Bodh Satsang, you must go listen to this Satsang. Very, very profound. He reveals certain beautiful things. You know, in his Facebook, he was explaining, I am that. So saying that I am. So in that he was saying, he was giving an explanation. Who is this I to say I am that? There is no I, there is no am. There is only am. AM. So which means it's simple. Am is nothing but ma, is a feminine aspect. Then God is Ishwar, which is a male aspect. So this is called Prakriti and Purusha. That is all that exists. So there is nothing like you can describe the divine being. So it's Ma, it's Ishwar. So how do you want to experience the divine who is just there? They don't have a form, they don't have anything the way you think. Everything that is you worship with a form in mind is somebody's created, a creation of a mind. But your innermost being, what you desire to experience in God, that is exactly what you will get to experience. So this is what my Guruji was explaining. And then somebody was calling it a play upon words. Please understand, every word from the Guru's mouth is gospel truth alone. So I had made a very interesting comment on that. This is not a play upon words because it is the gospel truth. And so my Guruji today was saying how you can still, say play upon words. And he subtly mentioned that, that is the truth. But what can you hear? You think he's talking to your mind. He said, it's a play upon words. He's trying to humor everybody. This is the way the great masters work. And he'll always tell me, why are you trying to change anybody? Why have you correcting? You're there here to reprimand or what? So he'll give me a peace of mind. My Krishna Guruji is amazing. His way of working, his way of teaching, nobody can comprehend. And please understand, even in that, he's still telling the truth. And if you go listen to every satsang of late, he is revealing so many different things, but you need to have the grace to understand these profound secrets that he's imparting. Unfortunately, not a single soul can even understand that. It is not so easy. First, seek the grace of the divine Lord Almighty. He's actually telling. But yeah, you can understand, but what are you trying to understand? It's not the way your mind can understand. It has to be just experienced, because this knowledge is not understood with your mind. It has to be experienced with your heart. Because that is what means self-realization. The self will reveal itself. Like you get this eureka moment, like that, the bulb will light. That lighting will happen inside. And that is like, okay, now I understand. You can only say, I understand, means your innermost being is now one with that. But it is not I who's understanding. Please again realize this. The moment you say I, it becomes ego. There is no I here. It's just like, yes, it is there. It's an awareness. You realize that is what happens. And again, he was giving a very, very profound truth. Can anybody describe God? Can anybody talk to God? He said a very profound thing. Yes, God talks to you in different ways. And he was giving an example of how there is a light. Somebody had asked him a question. Is God, revealing to us through light or power? And then he gave a very beautiful example. So he said there are different ways to communicate. So how do you understand? It's just an inference. Till you do not yourself realize, you cannot understand. All the book, whatever the scriptures we are reading, here they are only giving an inference to what it is. But can anybody describe God? No one can. Only my Krishna Guruji can. Again, he's explaining, but how much do you have the ability to catch that subtleness of what he's saying, that subtle truth that he's revealing? How much grace do you have? You know why? Only God can explain who God is and no ordinary human being. And another very important truth that he is imparted this morning in Bhagavad Gita, in which Lord Shri Krishna has said, I am, even though it is mentioned, right? I am, everything is born of me, but I am not in them. Neither are they in me. Please understand, Lord Shri Krishna doesn't exist in any of this. That is the truth. But everything is born of him. And that is why we say that the manifestation of the divine can be experienced only in certain people, not everybody. That is why Ramakrishna Paramahamsa Ji is Ramakrishna Paramahamsa Ji. Nobody else can be him. Vivekananda, Swami Vivekananda is only one entity. Similarly, Sai Baba, likewise Tukaram, Mirabai, or Radha Rani, who is the goddess herself, Lord Shri Krishna himself in the form of Radha Rani. So only certain beings can have that manifestation. That manifestation is strongly felt in them. So not everybody can experience God. You're all crass human beings. Please understand. And it is very nicely explained in one of the verse where Lord Shri Krishna has said, I am the seed giving father. And Prakriti is the mother who gives the birth to everything. And so there's it's just an essence. But that is like a spirit within all of us. But in reality, the God doesn't live within us. This is a very, very profound truth. You must go listen to Bhagavad Gita Satsang of my Krishna Guruji. And I hope you can understand a little bit of that. So, the law of karma is difficult to understand. Okay, we finished this. Similarly, the divine law is hard to violate. Who can transgress it? Hence, always do your duty according to convention, performing the necessary karma, or else one's conduct will not conform to the moral law, and after death, the next birth will be according to his karma. How beautiful! You want to keep being, born again and again and again and enjoy this miserable world. Please be our guest. Always keep saying this. My Krishna Guruji will say, you be my guest. You don't want to listen. See here, it is exactly mentioned. Here it says, or else one's conduct. Okay, similarly, the divine law is hard to violate. Who can transgress it? Nobody can. But what does a man think? He can do whatever he feels like, and then he's into this cycle of birth and death, birth and death. That's exactly what he grants himself. Hence, always do your duty according to convention, performing the necessary karma. Whatever that is your karma, your duty. That is why my Krishna Guruji will say, I stand for two things. One is dharma and one is swadharma. Swadharma is that which there's a purpose of why you're born as a human being. There is a body which you have donned and you have to do that swadharma, the purpose of your existence. Next is dharma. Dharma means you have to walk the righteous path. Everything that you do has to be as per Lord Shri Krishna's prescribed way of life, not what you think is the way of life, not as per the way you think. So dharma has to be followed. Then, or else one's conduct will not conform to the moral law, and after that, next birth will be according to his karma. So as you sow, so you reap. That is what the answer is. As one's karma, one's knowledge, accordingly, he mingles with the male sperm and entering the female womb, takes birth in the movable genre, while another is born in the immovable one. Oh my God. I don't think I want to go explain this, but please, this is very profound, and let me once again read. I hope you understand. It says, as one's karma, one's knowledge. So again, knowledge that you can imbibe or learn is based again on your karma alone. The next thing is, accordingly he mingles with the male sperm. So accordingly he mingles with the male sperm and entering the female womb, takes birth in the movable genre, while another is born in the immovable one. So whatever your birth is, whether you are going to be born as a movable or immovable, to wherever, that is all dependent on your karma alone. Whether you take birth as a transient being or you take birth as an intransient being. So this is very, very true. That is why we say, how to have this human birth is there's some merit that you have earned after many lives, and that is why you have got this human body to come and expiate your karma and to use this one God-given opportunity to go on the path of spirituality. But what do man do? Lust, greed, and all other evil propensities running after material worldly desires. My family, my children, my job, I'm going to get married, you name it. Endless are the desires. And then what? Enter into gutters. Then again, you'll be born again and again and again. And with karmic loop, with so many people, how much karma you get into bondage and get ensnared in Maya's entanglement. Oh my God. Please understand, it is Lord's Maya. It is very dangerous. You cannot see through, because the Lord is saying, I am here, I am here. Look at me, listen to me, follow what I am saying, my instruction. But you don't want to do that one very thing which your Lord is asking you to do. Then what happens? Destiny takes over. Go get entangled in the Maya. Go get into her clutches. Nobody can stop your karma. Unfortunately, you're the one cause of your own downfall. And don't say, no, Guru can come and save you, because you don't even want that Guru's grace. This is exactly how we human beings are today. Who does not know the meaning of the Shruti? As one's thoughts, so is his next birth. And if one must be born again, it should be a birth one likes. Oh my God, okay. Please understand, Lord Shri Krishna has very beautifully explained. Whatever your last thought is when at the time of your death, that is the next birth you're going to get into. And then what happens? One after the other, one after the other, one after the other. It is endless. And if one must be born again, it should be a birth one likes. Do you even like your birth? You think I should be born something like this. Would you like your birth? Sometimes I feel miserable having this body and I'm wondering, what is this? But you know what? One redeeming factor for me in my life, I'm very grateful to my Krishna Guruji that, what, he found me. The day he found me, he took me from that gutters, that stone which was covered with all that mire of this, that muck. And then he started slowly cleaning it. And the process is very painful. This is the only redeeming factor today for me. I am nothing against, anything to be attached in this world. Everything is Maya, it's delusion. People are lost in their own family, money, children, you name it. The only redemption is attaining God, realizing Lord Shri Krishna. That is the highest wheel. And please understand today, I'm fed up with my own life, running this rat race, wanting to, job, money, you name it. Today I'm like, I just want to attain the lotus feet of Lord Shri Krishna. But please understand, Lord Shri Krishna also is very smart. He says, you have to do my job. You have to serve my purpose for that which you have born. So like I said, he stands for two things, dharma and swadharma. So there's no escapism out of that. So whether I like it or not, we all have to perform our prescribed duties. So we have to perform to the highest ability, God-given ability. And this morning he was telling how today we are all entered into the age of Kali Yuga. And what is driving, the biggest driving force is tamas, inertia. Mahishasur is ruling everybody's world. And he was giving a comparison between India and China. In India, they're all Rajasic people, doing so many things, mega projects, you name it. They have Maglev train coming up. It's amazing developments. They are to nuclear power, you name it. So many advancements is happening over there. They are fantastically going ahead in the progression. And what are we doing? Regressing, becoming even more tamasic. We don't want to do certain things. We are into inertia. What are we doing? We need to awaken ourselves and ask, what is that I am doing? How am I going to, be on the path of sattva? So please understand, it is not about being either in rajasic or in tamasic, because both defines lust and greed. Rajas is greed, tamas is lust. So lust and greed is what we are operating on. But we have to rise above to sattva. Being the sattva is very important. In sattva, a man is always God-fearing. He is doing everything as prescribed by Lord Shri Krishna in Bhagavad Gita and other Vedas and Shastras. We are living a very disciplined life and we're always filled with goodness. Today, goodness is not even existing. Everything is gone out of the window. The word love doesn't even exist. Unfortunately, that is the age we have entered into. Everybody is, giving into their own either inflated ego or deflated ego. I sometimes get sick and tired of, trying to please people. We are not here to please anyone. Please understand. Being godly means just being, good to yourself and good to this world. You're not here to, talk badly about anybody or say some things. Let them do what they want. My Krishna Guruji said, see, if somebody wants to go into their downfall, that is their choice. I can only teach. If you want to take that lesson and become good in your life, the choice is yours. If you want to go go on the path of downfall, please go ahead. That is also your choice alone. At the end of the day, the choice is in your hands, either to become godly or become a demon. That is why we say this body is a temple where both the gods and demons exist. What do you want to make of it? You want to be the god, the divine being, or you want to become the demon? Both is in you only, but the choice remains with you. So please take that choice and become divine. Being good is very, very important. So, foolish, ignorant people who are eager to enter into another body should know that as their merit or otherwise, so will be the body they will get also. Oh yes, very true. Please understand, depending on your merit or demerit, you are going to take the next body. And that is all in your hands. So my Guruji will say, why do you want to be born as a worm in a gutter? Why can't you be born as a much more divine being? You can take birth in a pious family where you have opulence and you have an opportunity to rise above in life. That is what my Krishna Guruji will say. The choice is in your hand. So what you sow is what you reap. So please understand and don't blame anybody in this world. Whatever you suffer is only because of your karma. Nobody is responsible for your karma. My Guruji, my Krishna Guruji will always teach us how to overcome karma. But we give in to our mind, self-conceit and deceit and exactly do what our mind says, then it is our downfall. So don't blame God for your life being miserable or you being something very happy. Please understand, when something good happens, we want to take the credit. When something bad happens, God, it is you who has made my life so miserable. How convenient. Hence, he who does not waste the precious opportunity to gain knowledge of the self in the human birth before the body falls, he is truly a wise man. I hope I don't have to explain this verse. He alone will be free from the bondage of worldly life. All others are caught on the wheel of worldly life and can never avoid entering another body, thus never missing the pain and suffering of another birth. Oh wow, don't you think you've had it enough in this own life? My Krishna Guruji has said a very beautiful thing. He said, always focus on redeeming yourself. Go, get the spiritual wheel. That is the highest good which you will do to your entire, the family, this body's family. Nothing else. No matter what I can do to them, everybody will still always have, they will always be dissatisfied. But the only good that I can give, redeem not just myself, but redeem the people associated with my body. That is the highest merit that I can do, the highest good that I can do. Even Baba has very beautifully explained in a chapter called What is the Purpose of this Human Birth? And in that he says, your mother has borne you with all the pain for 9 months. She's carrying you, she's given birth, and then she's gone through that painful life of rising you. Too many things. Everybody's got their own story of what all the pains and sufferings that they have endured. Now, what is the highest good that you can do to your mother? By giving them the spiritual meal. How can you do? When you attain your spiritual meal. So that should be the ultimate goal. Otherwise, what use is this human existence that is there? There's no use. That is exactly what Baba is teaching. And he's repeating the same lesson over and over and over again. I hope at least at once in life it will enter your brains. Now, the marvel of the story is that the memory of the evil thought that I am the body will be wiped out, and the Sattvic Ashtabhav will be roused. One who is a miser by nature, despite his unlimited wealth, shame be on such a life. He will experience only weariness till his death. Moreover, even a trace of enmity is not good. Restrain your mind from it, or else it will destroy your life. Absolutely. The result of mutual enmity is that though born in a good genus now, one gets birth in lower genus. The result of death, enmity and murder is such that until you suffer for the sins fully, the cycle of birth, death pursues you. Oh my God, please understand. So why are we harboring enmity against anybody? We don't need to. That's why my Krishna Guruji will say, don't bother about what others do. You have to focus in your own spiritual way. Why are you thinking about somebody is doing, somebody is saying something? Yes, I get upset when somebody's looking at my Guruji as a very ordinary human being and trying to judge him, for what he is or who he is. I don't appreciate that, because he's my Lord Almighty. He's Lord Shri Krishna. Please understand this. And nobody has the right to come and judge my Guru. or try to comment in a way that is going to be disrespectful of what he's teaching. If you don't understand, keep quiet. You don't have to come and judge. And also people disrespectfully call him, when you have told him call him Krishna Guruji, people will disrespect and call whatever they feel like. That's not correct. That is a sin that you're in. So these are things which affect me, and my Krishna Guruji has taught. Why are you harboring enmity to them? Look, people can do whatever they want to. That is their problem, their sin, and their downfall. Why are you interfering in that? If when I interfere and when I have this enmity with them, then I am getting in karmic bondage with them. That becomes a karma. Please understand. This is same. It goes for anybody. Whether you have enmity with your boss, with your mother, father, brother, sister, husband, wife, children, you are in bondage with them. Why do you need it? You don't need it. Please just let go and forget it. You don't even want to think about anything. It is none of our business. Like my Krishna Guruji will always keep saying, don't bother. It's not your job to correct anybody. I am here to correct. That is exactly what he'll teach me. Why? Because he doesn't want me to get into with karmic bondage with anybody. See, he's a divine being. He's Parabrahma, nothing touches him. He's not attached to anybody. Today he just can walk away like this. He's Avaduta, he's ever free. Please remember this. He is not waiting here to give any more knowledge to anyone, because nobody is worthy of his knowledge. They can't even give him that respect. What knowledge? And I always tell him, please go, because it's enough. I feel terrible when people don't have value to God today. People can value jewels, people go party, people do a lot of things. They give respect for a lot of the title, designation, brand, but the real master doesn't have anything. Sir, he's the master of this universe. His brand is ever because of why you exist. His brand cannot be understood. His is a universal brand. What brand, what title are you talking about? The master of the universe he is, Lord Shri Krishna. Do you even know what that means? And in one of the satsang, very beautifully he's explained what does Krishna mean? The way we pronounce, you can't even pronounce. People call him Krishna. What is Krishna? That's not the way to pronounce. Krishna. What does it mean? Secretive, unknown. You can never know him. That is who is. You think what these Vedas, all these words are like fun, is it? Of course not. He has imparted a very beautiful lesson in Uddhav Gita. You must go listen. And in that he's talked about what does this word stand for. It's very important. How do you pronounce? Everybody calls Shri, S-H-R-I, Shri. It's not Shri, it is Shri. Shri. There's a way of saying. You have to emphasize. It's not Radha, it is Radha. It's Krishna. The words have potent meaning. That is when you can realize the divine being. When you have been given a mantra, the mantra ucharan has to be perfect. That is why we say Nam Japa. Why do you do Nam Japa? Is so that you can attain that Nam. That Nam is when you will realize the divine. Whoever that Nam is about, whatever the mantra you have been given, that is the only way to attain the divine. So when you keep chanting that Nam, you will realize the divine. What are we doing? No, we are thinking. Our mind is constantly thinking about everything. Except for thinking about God. Wow. And you'll do great good not only to yourself and to this entire universe. And also most important lesson here. Why we should not have enmity, anger. My Krishna Guruji has explained a very profound lesson. And what is that lesson? In that he says, when you get angry, we create some of the demons in this world. Very, very terrible demons give birth. So when you harbor anger against someone, we are actually doing bad. We are doing bad to this universe. That is why if you see a lot of adharma is happening. So we have to always think good. Love has to spring within us. Why are we thinking bad about anybody? Let them do bad. It is their problem, not ours. This is a very tough lesson to live. That is why it is called spiritual. And spirituality is not so easy. That is why I keep saying spirituality is not for everyone. It is not for the weak-hearted. I am not saying this body is perfect or this body is attained. The journey of learning is never ending. It carries on to eternity. It's not just in this birth. Every birth you have to continue learning. So understanding this truth is important. Being good. You have to practice it. That it will open up. Imagine the divine being, God, Shri Krishna, stands for one very profound word, and that is called love. Do we have love? Oh, we always harbor enmity, hatred, anger, venom, jealousy, avarice, whatnot. Can you be good? The word goodness has completely gone out of the window today. That is what we have to practice. Being good, being genuinely loving, being kind, being compassionate. My Krishna Guruji will always say, can you ever be compassionate with people? Of course I can, but sometimes, like I said, the anger comes. See, anger again. What is anger? Doorway to hell. Do I not know? Of course I know, but still my mind will get angry. Why? Because sadhana is a must. It is going to be angry. But how do you overcome? How do you control is by always taking the name of the divine Lord. That is the only way out. There is no other way. Hold to unto his lotus feet. You don't have to think anything bad. Please understand, he is everything, the Karta Dharta of this universe. He knows what is good, what is bad. I mean, he knows your well-being. He will take care of you. Why are you bothered about anything? Don't even be bothered. Just let go. Surrender. Completely surrender and just do what he asks you to do. That is the most important thing. And that is the highest sadhana that you can ever do. And that is the only way to overcome your karma. So please harbor no enmity to none. And Lord Shri Krishna has explained this in Bhagavad Gita, Uddhav Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam. Enmity to none. It is very important. So when you are on the path of spiritual to being spiritual, you cannot have enmity with anybody. And it is not for us to judge anyone. Please understand. Everybody is driven by their karma and they are fallible human nature. They are going to, do that mistake. They are not going to overcome their nature. It is very difficult to overcome the nature. But those who are on the path of spiritual, you have been given the knowledge. You have been told what to be doing, what you should be doing. And you have to follow that, practice that and do your sadhana so that you can attain the spiritual being. So have enmity to none. Don't be angry with anybody. There is no point. Please understand. They are all ignorant beings. That is why Jesus Christ said, Father, please forgive them, for they do not know what they are doing. They are ignorant beings. This is what we have to become. To become godly is to forgive everybody and be good. That is all. You don't have to get attached. You might not like somebody, but just stay away. You don't have to dwell into that subject. You don't have to think about anybody. Stay away. Untouched like the lotus leaf. The water is untouched, yet it shines beautifully in that muck. That is what we have to become. Live like a lotus leaf. Lord Shri Krishna is always compared to a lotus leaf. Like a lotus. Why are we comparing him to that? Because that is exactly how he lives. Completely detached. He's untouched by anything that is happening. Even when his brothers, his entire Kittan, the entire clan was dying, his Kittan king, everybody were fighting, they're dying there. But he was not perturbed, not a bit. He was in his perfect state, in Sachidanand. He knows everything is unreal. Do you think he couldn't have averted the calamity? He knows what is going to befall them. He knows how the end is going to be. Yet he is unperturbed. That is why it is called to being godly. So be that Lord Shri Krishna. Aspire to be that. That should be your highest goal in this life. So coming back. Hence, he who does not waste the precious opportunity to gain knowledge of the self in the human birth before the body falls, he is truly a wise man. He alone will be free from the bondage of worldly life. All others are caught on the wheel of worldly life and can never avoid entering another body. Yes, we finished this. Yeah. Moreover, even a trace of enmity is not good. Restrain your mind from it, or else it will destroy you. Oh my God. See, this is a very important thing. Why should it's mentioned why you should not harbor enmity? Never. He's saying one who is a miser by nature, despite his unlimited wealth, shame be on such a life. He will always experience only weariness till his death. Moreover, even a trace of enmity is not good. Restrain your mind from it, or else it will destroy your life. The result of mutual enmity is that though born is a good genus, now one gets birth in a lower genus. The result of death, enmity and murder is such that until you suffer for the sins fully, the cycle of birth death pursues you. So you cannot get out of the cycle of birth and death. I shall respectfully present to the listeners the nectar sweet and most purifying words from Sai's mouth with the significance. Be attentive while listening to it. And that story too has remained in my memory just as I had heard it, in the same words that Mother Sai uttered. I shall now narrate it. Sai is himself the author of his story and gets the account of the story written, while Hemad is only an instrument. It is he himself who is the puller of the strings. One day, in the morning at about 8 o'clock, after finishing my usual repast, I went out for a walk. As I walked on the way, I felt tired. So when I reached the bank of a river, I washed my feet and took a bath, which gave me great satisfaction. And the river too was as large as the one at Rahata, while the water flooding both its banks, which were overgrown with a rush-like grass called lavala. There was a rough footpath there, as also a clearly marked track made by bullock carts. Trees grew dense on the banks, which extended excellent cool shade. A soft breeze blew, pleasant and refreshing. Seeing that cluster of numerous trees, I sat down leisurely in their shade. In order to fill the clay pipe, as I went to wet the piece of rag to wrap around the pipe, I heard a croaking sound, which I thought was that of a frog. And what was so surprising in that? For where there is a water, a frog will naturally be there. After wetting the piece of rag, I came back and took the flint in the hand. As the flint gave out a spark, the clay pipe was lighted, ready for smoking. Suddenly, there appeared a wayfarer who came and, making obeisance, sat near me. With great humility, he took the pipe from my hand into his own and said respectfully, "You have come very far. The mosque is quite far away from here, and it will be very hot by the time you go back there. My house is just yonder. Let us go there after smoking the pipe. You can eat a piece of bakri there itself and rest for a while. Then, when the sun goes down, you may comfortably go back. I shall also accompany you." After saying so, the wayfarer lighted the pipe and very respectfully gave it to me to smoke. There, the frog began crying aloud piteously. So the wayfarer inquired, "Who is this crying aloud?" So I said, "A frog is in trouble near the river bank. His karma is pursuing him. Listen to the story that I shall narrate to you. Whatever you have done in the past birth, you have to pay for it in this birth. And one should be prepared to suffer for one's karma. Why cry now?" On hearing this, the wayfarer gave the pipe in my hand and walked away from there, saying, "I will go and see whether it is really a frog or some other creature. Let the mind be clear of doubt as to what trouble he is in." Such being his wish, I said, "Go and see for yourself how the frog fallen in the jaws of a big snake is crying out." Both, in fact, are wicked. The deeds of both were satanic, and terribly sinful in the past birth, to pay for which they have got these different bodies. While such thoughts were passing through the mind, the wayfarer went to that place and came back after seeing what was happening. He said, "What you say is true. That snake has a monstrous jaw like death itself, and the frog too is frightening. But for the snake, the frog has become his food. He is as a sacrificial offering in the snake's mouth and will last only for half an hour or one. How strange are the ways of destiny. He will be laid to rest in just a moment." So I then said to him, "Oh, how can he put that frog to rest? Am I, his father, protector, not sitting here?" Absolutely. See, death is always in the God's hand. Nobody can, challenge destiny. What makes you think that destiny is in our hands? People talk as though they will die and they know how they are going to die and they know what is going to happen. All these egoistic people. What they don't understand is man proposes, God disposes. The one who has already predefined your destiny, everything that is going to happen, he knows your past, your present and your future. But people with their ego think they know too much in life. So here Baba is saying, am I his father, protector, not sitting here? Don't I know how to protect him? What am I needed for then? Now that I have come, leaving my own place and I am sitting here, will I allow that frog to be swallowed? Just watch how I release him. Now when I have separated them, we will go to our respective houses. Go, go, fill up the pipe once again. Let us see what the snake does next. The traveller at once filled the pipe and lighting it himself, puffed it at once and then presented it to me. I then took it in my hand to smoke. I puffed at it once, twice, and then taking with me that wayfarer, made my way through the grass till I reached that particular spot. On seeing that snake again, the wayfarer was terrified. Oh, what a monstrous creature, he said, and out of fear tried to restrain me from going forward. Oh, please do not advance, he said. The snake will move towards us, and the place is too narrow and awkward for us, even to escape, so please do not go forward. When he saw the whole scene, the wayfarer feared for his very life. Listen to the account of mutual enmity of both that I then narrated. O Veerabhadhrappa, has not this Basappa your enemy yet repented, even after being born a frog? And you too are born a snake, yet such mortal enmity? Oh, have some shame at least now. Give up the enmity and be at peace. No sooner were these words out of my mouth than the snake let go of the frog and glided away so fast, and the frog glided away so fast that, quickly entering the deep waters, he disappeared from the sight. Swiftly the frog leapt off from the jaws of death and quickly hid in the vegetation. The wayfarer was filled with amazement. He said, I do not understand this at all. Oh, what with the words coming from your mouth and how the snake let go of the frog instantly and how the snake himself disappeared too. But of these, who is Veerabhadhrappa? And similarly, who is Basappa? He also asked me for the reason for their enmity, saying, oh, please tell me all. All right, but first we will go and sit under the tree and smoke the pipe. Then I shall satisfy your curiosity. Afterwards, I shall return to my place. We both came to the tree where there was deep shade. A gentle cool breeze was blowing. Once more the pipe was lighted. The wayfarer smoked it first, after which he gave it in my hand, and while I smoked it, I narrated the fascinating story to him. Just about 4 or 6 miles from my place, there was an old famous holy place. There was an ancient, dilapidated temple of Mahadev, Shiva, which all the people there thought of renovating. They collected a big subscription for it. A large amount was collected. Arrangements were made for the daily puja, etc. And a complete outline was drawn up. A wealthy man from that place was appointed the administrator. The amount was handed over to him with a complete decision-making powers. He was to keep separate accounts and add to the funds his subscription amount in cash. This work he was expected to do honestly and without error. But by nature, he was a miser and would carry on the work in a manner without a dent to his own pocket. As a result, the work was not getting completed. The whole amount got spent, but the work remained half finished. He just would not spend anything from his own pocket. Not a pice would he part with. Though a big money lender, he was avarice personified. He would talk sweetly all the time, yet the work would not take shape. Later on, those people who had collected subscriptions gathered at his house saying, of what use is this, your money lending business? Unless you help, we don't know how the renovation of this Mahadev temple will be completed. Oh, just consider this a little. Once again, we will persuade the people and collect subscriptions. And that amount too we will pass on to you. But do please get this work completed. Thus, more money was collected and it came to hand in an excellent manner. But it was of no avail. The wealthy man did nothing further. However, after a few days, God himself felt like doing something. And it was at the time that the wife of the miser had a vision. You, at least, wake up and go build a dome to the temple. Nilakant Shankar will give you 100-fold of what you spend. Next day, she narrated her vision in detail to her husband, but he, to whom spending even a pice was like death, found this vision most disturbing. He whose mind knew no other preoccupation except collecting money day and night, how will he ever accept the message of dream to spend the money? He told his wife, I do not believe in this vision. I have absolutely no faith in it. And he began ridiculing her. As is the inclination of the mind, so appears the condition of the world. If himself a rogue by nature, others also appear to be the same. Absolutely true. So it is how you harbor, what do you harbor in you? That is what you will see the world as well. That is why my Krishna Guruji will keep saying, don't wear pink color glasses. See the world with that love alone, and then see God in everybody. That is the only way to practice, to be able to see the divine everywhere and to love Him. Why do we say that see God in everybody? Is because we have to have love with everybody. When you see God, you will love God. You will not hate God, right? So that is why he'll say this. And see, in this, Lord Shankar tells a very beautiful thing. He says, go and build the dome to the temple. I will give you 100-fold of what you give me. Please remember, when you give one, God will give you 100 times more. And he's never going to keep with himself, but he will give it in his own way, at the right time and at the right moment. So you should never be a miser. Give, and that is when you will get. My Krishna Guruji will say, do give. The wealth is to establish dharma, not for I, me, myself. Please understand, when you give, God will give you 100-fold. You will get more. So don't become greedy. It's not good at all. Had God wanted to take money only from me? Was I so very far away from you? Why did he appear in your dream only and not mine? Why only you had the vision? Why did not God appear to me? Therefore, I am not convinced, nor do I understand the significance. Either the dream is false, or it may be a divine effort to cause a rift between husband and wife. This is the sign I read. In the work of renovation, is my help any less? Month after month, the purse we filled is being emptied. Outwardly, people appear to bring such a large amount, but in truth, this commercial system of accounts is a great loss to me. Yet, how will you understand what even the people fail to see? So, this vision of yours simply cannot be regarded as true. If it is taken as true, we will be completely deceived. Can anyone regard as true the vision that is the result of a disturbed sleep? Such was the conclusion that the wealthy miser arrived at. On hearing this, the wife fell silent. She was at loss for an answer before the husband. Though people were collecting money, it was rarely given happily and willingly. God does not like what is given without love, but out of being urged to give on the ground of respect for Him or out of embarrassment. But when it is given lovingly, however little it may be, it is very precious to Him. Absolutely. When the money was collected, the work would proceed. When it stopped coming, the work would stop too. Thus it went on being delayed. When the wealthy man, like a miser, refused to spend even a single paise from his purse, listen to how his wife had another vision. Do not press your husband to give money to the temple. Your faith and devotion is enough for God. Give whatever you wish to give. Even 1 paisa of your own, when given sincerely, is like a lakh rupees. Offer it to God after consulting your husband. Do not tire yourself out. Only should give only that what one feels like giving and which belongs to oneself, however little it may be. Offer it. It's so beautiful what here is being taught. See, only when you feel like offering and from your innermost being, even 1 paisa, what is yours you offer. Lord Shri Krishna in Bhagavad Gita has said very beautifully, even a leaf of tulsi, when you offer with that love, I will very graciously accept it. That is all I want. I want to see that pure love, not your greed, avarice, or this miser attitude. Here, it is only devotion and faith that matters. And as God knows that you have it, He is repeatedly urging you to give. Hence, whatever little money you have, give it and let your mind be at peace. Giving without love is most improper, and God does not like it in the least. He who gives without a loving faith, his offering will have no value and will be absolutely fruitless in the end. He will experience this without delay. Please understand, how should you give to God? With absolute love and faith. But when you give without loving faith, his offering will have no value. See, because you're just giving for the heck of giving. God doesn't want such offering. and will be absolutely fruitless. That will not bear any fruit. Please understand, he will not even touch. But as per your karma, whatever you are supposed to get, he will anyways grant you. He doesn't care. He doesn't accept it personally. In the end, he will experience this without delay. So, on hearing the words of the vision, she resolved in her mind to sell the ornaments given by her father to fulfill this demand. So, then told her husband to her resolve. He listened to it and was greatly agitated in his mind. How can there be any reason where there is greed? And that too, of giving in charity in the name of God. In his mind, he thought, oh, how thoughtless of her. She has really become deluded. I think all her ornaments should be valued and their value be fixed at 1000 rupees. A piece of land should be transferred to her name. So he bought her ornaments himself and in lieu of money gave his wife a piece of reclaimed land of his ownership, which had been mortgaged to him by somebody. That too was wasteland. Nothing grew on it, even during the rainy season. So he said to his wife, offer this to Lord Shankara. When you offer this to God, as was your vision, this piece of land worth 1000 rupees, he will be pleased and you too will have discharged your debt. So, obeying her husband's word, the wife of this miser, lovingly offered the land to please Lord Shankara. In fact, the land belonged to one Dubaki, who had mortgaged it to this moneylender against a debt of 200 rupees. Dubaki was a poor woman who owned this land, but even that land she had to mortgage for want of money. But that money lender was most avaricious and was not afraid of deceiving even God Shankara. He pocketed his wife's Stridhan too and was happy in gain, even though it be through deceit. This hankering after sensual pleasures is bad and destroys him who longs for them. If one wants to live well, one should never get entangled in the meshes of sensual pleasures. The strong desire to hear the sound destroys the deer. The beautiful gem destroys the cobra whose forehead it adorns, and the attraction of the light burns the moth to death. Such is the destructive nature of sensual pleasures. I think we have discussed this enough. I think you understand what it means. Moreover, to enjoy such sensual pleasures, wealth is needed, and when strenuous effort is made to acquire it, the thirst for more also grows with it, which becomes uncontrollable. To begin with, the land was reclaimed, and even with great effort could produce not a grain. That was the land he asked her to offer to God. What is the merit in such an offering? What is offered to God without a trace of expectation? Such an offering is called free from desire, and not such an offering as this, which will only be sinful and will bring sorrow in the end. Here, the poor Brahmin who used to perform the puja of God was very happy when the land was acquired for God. However, after some time, a strange thing happened. During the Kritika Nakshatra, there was a storm accompanied by a downpour, which caused great destruction everywhere. Suddenly the lightning struck, pulling the whole building to the ground. Only the land without its rightful owner remained safe. The rest was all burned down. Ruin came upon the wealthy man too. He, along with his wife, died, and so did Dubaki. The lives of all the three came to an end. Later, the wealthy man was born to a poor Brahmin in Mathura, while his devout wife was born to a priest. She was named Gauri. Dubaki had a different fate. She was born as a male child to a Gurav. At the naming ceremony of this boy, he was given the name Chenabasappa. Thus, all the three underwent a transformation, the result of the karma of each. After his rebirth, the wealthy man was named Veerabhadhrappa. Such is the essence of one's prarabdha karma, that it ends only after it is worked out fully. I was very fond of the priest of Lord Shiva, who used to come to our house every day and smoke the pipe with me. Then we would converse happily the whole night. Gauri grew up and became of a marriageable age. The priest used to bring her also with him, where at the end of the hour, We will continue the story tomorrow. I hope you enjoyed today's lesson so far. And thank you for joining Sai Satcharita Parayan once again. See you all tomorrow morning at 8:30 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. Om Shri Mahaganapate Namaha. Om Shri Gurudev Datta. Om Shri Sachidananda Sadguru Sainath Maharaj Ki Jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Digambara Digambara Shripad Vallabha Digambara. Om Shri Krishna Gurunath Natha Shri Guruve Namaha. Om Devi Durgaya Namaha. Om Shri Krishna Arpanam Namastu. Krishnam Vande Jagadguru.